I will take what he did to me to the grave.
It looked loving, not knowing that behind that was a sadist, a psychopath. You have no idea of what I went through.
A lot of women were being abused by this man. I had no idea. I thought I was the only one.
You thought you were in the safest place in the world and you were in the most dangerous.
I didn't know that that thing had happened to anybody else.
These are children of 16, 17 years. He kept all of us in slavery. Total, absolute slavery.
BBC on the 8th of January 2024, and that's tomorrow. BBC just recently concluded their secret investigation about the secret life of late apostle or pastor or prophet T.B. Joshua. Secret life, occultism, harassment, so many other unspeakable things he did, including fake miracle and manipulation, extortion, and so much more. About to be heard on BBC tomorrow on the 8th. Wow! Apostle or prophet or pastor T.B. Joshua, or should I say T.B. Joshua, is one of the greatest pastors in Nigeria history to ever walk on Nigeria soil. Yeah, nobody can deny that. Apostle Suleiman, when it comes to the stars under Nigeria, Apostle Suleiman's name is written there. Apostle Suleiman was greatly celebrated throughout Nigeria, and when he died, dignitaries, pastors all over the world, politicians everywhere, notable people in the society visited him in his grave, paid their last respect. Although there have been some controversies about him, fake miracle and the rest, but the media usually shut it down. But honestly, I've never heard about such thing as occultism and so many other stuff. This is one of the most groundbreaking investigation ever. Something that will shake the entire Christian association in Nigeria. Something that will further tarnish the image of good Christians, further tarnish the image of any good pastors out there. Because we already know a lot of people are already losing faith when it comes to their pastor with their fake miracles and their fake way of saying they heard this from God. God directly spoke to them. Wow. T.B. Joshua, of all pastors in Nigeria, with humble beginnings, T.B. Joshua, with his philanthropic way, he kept giving and giving and giving until he died. Sharing bag of rice, building houses, helping the needy until he died. This man has one of the biggest church in Nigeria. One of the biggest. Travel around the globe to preach. Synagogue Church of God Nation is a church that has branches all over the world. And now his name is under the mouth. How are we going to believe this? Why did they wait till he died? That's the question. Why did they wait till he died? Why didn't they speak out since? Why did they shout? So that we can all support and make sure this man paid for what he did. Why? What happened? Why? Why? It's extremely hard for me to believe, and it's extremely hard for me not to believe. It's extremely hard for me to believe, and it's extremely hard for me not to believe. Well, let me read you some few comments coming from people who are currently deliberating on the matter. Someone said, BBC, help us investigate our politicians before investigating TB Joshua. The other person said, and nothing new here. Don't get me wrong, but we have been saying it. People hide behind religion and do the unthinkable. All the British scandal, how many have they investigated and brought to light? You waited till he's dead. I'm just reading out the responses. Then Asa said, because TB Joshua's daughter, who is a lawyer, called in AFCC and locked both Nigerians and Oyibo up for heavy embezzlement after his death. Now, this video, TB Joshua is not a saint, but because the wife and his daughter don't lock up you now, the verse. The other person said, why are you guys coming out after his death? Many are just antichrist. Don't always believe the media. Even some claiming to be shamed. I am not saying they probably didn't go through shame. Just saying watch and pray. How many of your British scandal have they told us? This is not new now. Since 90s, he has been having this same scandal. It's just his philanthropic way that made many Nigerians forget. As a kid, his programs were banned on national TV back in the day due to occultism and fake miracle. Then Prisa said, that second woman and some others have been vocal about this topic long before he died. Of course, Nigerians and the media shut them up. I wonder why y'all are acting surprised. Can the dead rest in peace? Why is this coming up now? The other person said, most scandalous pastors of all time after Apostle Suleiman that year. But after all the scandal, his church will still be full with people. Then they are saying that they are waiting for that the freeze to respond. Then this guy said, Nigeria will still come out to deny this. It's high time people wake up to the tax. These men of God do not hear voice from anyone. They only created these ideas for manipulation. In reality, God does not exist. People should emancipate themselves from mental slavery. Okay, that one gets you off your body. All pastors in Nigeria perform fake miracle. Know God for yourself. Refute any teaching that disregard your dignity as a human being, created in God's complete image. I think our parents, the way they brought us up in Africa, in Nigeria, should be blamed. Yeah. And it's high time that we should learn better. This is my suggestion. Please, if you are grooming your child, please groom your child to have faith in God and God alone. Groom your child to seek for knowledge, seek for the truth. Groom your child not to depend on any man on earth, to intercede for him or her with God. Groom your child not to believe such nonsense. Groom your child to the point that you tell your child, God is everywhere. God is with you. You can go inside your room in your quiet place and talk to God. And whenever you need from God, at the appropriate time, God will do it for you. If it's not coming, no human being can pray for God to change his mind. And if it comes, no human being can pray for God to return it. Groom your child to have such faith. There are some fathers that will groom their child to depend on pastors. There are some fathers that will groom their child to see pastor as the heaven and the omega. And that child, growing up to be a strong man, a big man on his own, will also groom his own child because of the mentality, the slavery mentality his own dad, her own dad passed onto him or her. It's about time you teach your children differently. You teach them to be confident in themselves, to talk to God, despite any form of sins they might find themselves. Talk to God. If not, we won't be experiencing these fake miracles and everything. If you groom your child to the way of the Lord, going to a pastor is not the way of God. Let's be honest. Groom your child to the way of the Lord. There are some fathers, if their children misbehave, you know what they do? I will call pastor for you. Hey, pastor, and if a child misbehave and that child is regretting, the child is not regretting because his father is mad. The child will regret because the pastor will be mad. Not even you, his or her father. You are useless to him or her. Ha! What kind of family will that be? We have seen them. They are the kind of kids that fall for this fake miracle, that will send their children into slavery camps of pastors. And when the child speak up, the child must say, keep quiet, it's your pastor. Keep quiet. Yes, they do that. They do that. Groom your child. I'm not saying what happened, this BBC, all things about Pastor TB Joshua is true. I am not saying that it's none of my goddamn business. But all I'm saying is that groom your child. Your child not to fall for the victim of the wickedness of this heart. Men are desperately wicked. Yes, the man's heart. You will think that almighty guy, everybody praises him, everybody glorify him, they see him as king and everything. Automatically is going to make heaven. He boasts, he's boastful, he's boastful. He's boastful because he can read the Bible from here to toe and do some crazy stuff about the Bible. Perform miracle, and he will tell you, I will go to heaven. I will be in heaven. Let me tell you, that house is home. The key to that heaven is owned only by God. And God said only the pious, the unboastful, will enter that kingdom. Don't be boastful. You say, yes, I'm confident. I'm confident in the Lord. I'm confident in the Lord. I will make heaven. Relax, my dear. Beg, plead for it. Beg for it, and by God's grace, He's going to reward you with it. Don't be boastful. But all the same, though, we are still talking about Pastor TB Joshua. They are saying it's manipulation. The wife and the daughter are busy arresting those people who want to take over their father businesses, church business. So that's why they are releasing this BBC stuff. I do not know. I am not saying he's guilty. I am not saying he's not guilty. I am in between. But he's not alive now to face it. We don't know what he's facing out there. God cannot reveal to you if TB Joshua is in heaven or is in hell. You are too small for God to reveal that to. Who are you? You are too small. God will not reveal it to you. God won't. But we can do better by teaching our kids to have confidence in the Lord. Confident in the Lord. Not a man is succeeding for them. Gone are the days when men were succeeding for children of God with their Lord. Gone are those days. There is no prophet anymore. Anybody can call himself a prophet. It's a title. But God's prophet ended long time ago. Well, I'm going to rest my case. Let me know exactly how you feel about this news.